Pete Kavanagh. Pete is the former Unite Regional Secretary for London and Eastern Region, and he is a United Left member. Thank you very much for joining us, Pete.
Thank you very much. Is this working? Yeah, okay. I'm not a great fan of logo t-shirts, but I thought I'd better dig this one out of my drawer. We made this in 2015 June when 250,000 people marched against austerity. We might need to keep wearing t-shirts like this. Austerity is not just a vacuous slogan, it is a concrete set of political values and economic policies which academic studies have concluded caused a greater increase in mortality rates than did COVID-19, the worst pandemic of the last 100 years. So perhaps we can call austerity the COVID-19 of economic policies, killing hundreds of thousands of people and taking £500 billion out of the British economy. And of course austerity hits those already economically disadvantaged the hardest, further increasing the inequality inherent in capitalism. And critically, the economic crisis of 16 years ago did not arise from an orgy of government spending, but from the bailing out of the private banking system. Private debt became government debt and of course was passed on to tax-paying workers, as well as decimating our public services. Oh, it doesn't work. Austerity simply shrinks the economy and effectively creates the conditions which in the worst case scenarios lead to the seizure of power by the far right. In the 1930s, the Nazis in Germany, and what we're seeing now sweeping across Europe with the populist far right happening today. Add to this toxic environment the glaring inequalities, not just within nations, but between nations, which together with the catastrophic effects of climate change and war is leading to the mass migration of desperate peoples to the developed north. And from a far right perspective, all the mouth-watering ingredients for a populist and divisive racist surge have arrived at their doorstep. So what should we, as left in our respective unions, how should we respond? The primary role of any trade union is, of course, to defend and advance members' terms and conditions as the economic cycle turns and as confidence rises, we go into battle. In response to the record levels of inflation that we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years, we have seen a significant upturn in fighting back, strike action and wins, mobilised in no small part by left comrades and militants across all of our trade unions. However, as left organisations, as socialists, we must always look beyond the narrow confines of the workplace, developing principled and effective positions on national and international issues. While our towns were on fire at the start of August, following the unbridled, hate-filled, racist rioting, not overlooking the tremendous response by the vast majority of people who came out in the streets to defend their communities, it was affirming to hear the unambiguous message from the Bakers Union and its leader, Sarah Woolley, who challenged any member holding fascist views to reflect deeply on their position, renounce such beliefs or leave the union. We won't build solidarity by pandering to the right and wringing our hands because we're concerned that our members may be seduced by the populism of the Reform Party, or worse, spurred into acts of racist violence by even more insidious individuals and organisations. And let's be clear, no tears should be shed for those receiving hefty prison sentences for attempting to set fire to hostels, to burn people alive in their places of residence. But the government needs to go further and identify all those filthy, well-financed bastards hidden within the social media platforms who directed their troops. And once identified and tried, forget 9-year sentences, throw away the key, I say. However, as the left, we must never turn our heads away from those communities that have been fractured, left behind and not listened to. We must never allow the likes of Yaxley Lennon to portray himself as the only one addressing and confronting issues such as terrorist attacks and the abuse of working class girls. The left needs to take such issues head on, beyond meetings such as this,
making clear that we condemn all forms of terrorism, including genocidal state terrorism, and that opposing violence against women and girls and standing up to sexism and misogyny is absolutely at the core of what our movement is all about. When a so-called Football Lads Alliance crawled out of the gutter a few years ago, I'm proud that my union developed the Unity Over Division education programme to challenge the narrative of the far right and build confidence amongst our union reps to challenge the lies and fiction. To defeat a dangerous and growing far right, we as trade unionists have a responsibility and a duty, as we have historically, to stand up to racism and fascism in our workplaces, on the streets and in our communities. And we are, of course, uniquely placed to do so with our 6 million members and our network of thousands, tens of thousands of union reps. We should reflect for a moment that the far-right fascists today, an innately anti-Semitic movement, are raising the flag of Israel on their demonstrations in the UK to support the massacre of Palestinian people, hiding the hatred of difference and diversity behind their simplistic solutions to the complex but genuine fears that people hold. I'm proud that there is a strong commitment to the Palestinian cause from our union's left members, and proud that once again Unite activists joined the March for Palestine last Saturday, in line with our union's policy in support of the oppressed Palestinian people. However, I have to say that many of us remain deeply disappointed that there's been no lead nationally in terms of mobilising what should be thousands of Unite members to join the huge, incredible, vibrant and diverse demonstrations, and that there has been no national Unite voice at the rallies, despite the best efforts of the United Left, and we won't give up trying. Having said that, I'm very pleased about what I'm hearing in terms of tomorrow's motion, that Unite will be supporting that call for BDS, already our policy, and supporting the call for a complete embargo and a stop to all arms trade with Israel. With comrades and comrades, I will echo the phrase that was used earlier. This must mean, in my union Unite, that there will be no more ifs and buts. We must use the full resources available to Unite now to mobilise thousands of members to get out in the streets. Solidarity starts with empathy and a belief in freedom, justice, peace and equality for all. And it must be developed through trade union education. In our United Left, we'll continue to fight for a socialist-sized slice of the employer's pie for our members. We will not duck the fight against the far right, nor will we cease the call for a ceasefire and for equal rights for the Palestinian people. We'll continue to join the dots between trade union freedom, socialism, anti-fascism and internationalism. And we will argue that lay member-led political education must be at the heart of our efforts to build our movement on the ground for a better workplace, a better Britain and a better world. Thank you very much.